Warm welcome to this focus session, Leading in the Age of AI, a defining moment for women leaders. I'm super excited and happy and honored and pleased to be in this event, Women in Tech, where we have a lot of forward-leaner, can-do attitude people with the willingness to share our experience and competence, but also raise the expected and non-expected questions for us all to move to a brighter future. My name is Mathias Dyberg, for those of you that hasn't met me before. I'm the CEO of Elvenite, a tech company that is recognized for turning the potential of ERP, data and AI into real business result, redefining how companies compete and operate. Before we set the scene of these panel discussions, I would like to involve all of you as leaders when it comes to AI. So I will raise two questions, either or, and you need to choose one of them. It's quite simple. So when it comes to AI, more better data or more better questions? Those that choose more better questions, please raise your hand. Majority choose more better questions. Second questions, AI as an efficiency tool or AI as a tool for change? Those that choose AI as a tool for change, please raise your hand. Also majority. So by this little example, we see that we should use AI for the change and we should raise more questions than better data. We all know that we are living in a new geopolitical world order. But when it comes to tech, we are also living in a new technology world order, where access to knowledge via data and advanced technology has become a commodity available for everyone. When uncertainty is huge, the questions are many. Leadership then becomes what determines our future. What leadership is required in the new technology world order? What qualities in our leadership will be particularly important? And how do we ensure that we use these qualities in our companies? This we will discuss in today's panel with different perspectives based on the panel's own experience as leaders. And the big question is, do we see that the characteristics of a female leadership will become the winning concept now when the agents is entering our job market? Let me introduce today's panel. We have a super trio on stage with a lot of experience and lesson learned from leading organizations in change and transformation. First, we have Boel Sjöstrand. She is Deputy CEO at Combined X and has extensive experience as senior leader across consulting and service-driven organization. Her background includes CEO, COO, and board member, with a constant focus on growth, culture, and organization's clarity in times of change. Welcome, Boel. We also have Louise Nilsson. She is CIO at Agriculture Senior Sector Lantmännen, where she plays a key role in driving large-scale digital transformation within complex business-critical environment. She is known for setting clear directions while empowering teams and by leading through the right questions rather than having all the answers. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have Nathalie Malmholm, who is Manager Business Execution at Nedermans, focusing on business execution and cross-functional collaboration. She is known as a team-oriented and attentive leader with strong drive, focus, and the ability to turn strategy into actions. Warm welcome. So let's start with questions when it comes to leadership in uncertain times. Boel, what will you say is different today in your leadership compared to 5, 10 years ago?
You asked me earlier, and my answer was a lot. But to dig a little bit more into what's, if you see it about the uncertain times, I think there has been uncertain times several times before, and now it's uncertain times again. But I think the difference from this uncertain time to the times before is that this times comes with great technical opportunities with AI and so on, but also with a very weak economy. And before, the great technical opportunities also came with a lot of money, but this time it doesn't. So I think that's kind of interesting because that kind of slows down the technical involvement. And I think that is not only bad, actually. I think that maybe this time we could need that because the technical innovation is at such high speed. So maybe the weak economy actually gives us the opportunity. It forces us to slow down and really focus on where do we create real value, where are the real business values. And I that's a big change, a big difference, and also very very hard because that makes the prioritizations even more difficult because we can't afford to do anything, and before we sort of could.
I also think the companies also should need to change their business models due to this, which is also what we need to spend time on and understand the complexity and the changes that has to be done even there. So I think everyone needs to be in a change mode in a bigger extent than usual, what it has been in the past. Even if we have had crisis before, this is not the first and sadly not the last one either. So,
Nathalie, do you have any things to add when it comes to leading in uncertain times?
I can try mic. Yes, it's working.
Yeah.
No, but I agree. And I think in uncertain times, I am also uncertain. So it just, I increase the presence with my team to show both clarity and direction, but also to try it out with the team. So someone to hold on to and somewhat to hold on to. So be with the team through the uncertain times.
good point.
Yeah. And we discussed in the green room before this when it comes to, I mean, as a leader, you have a large amount of people with different perspective, right? So you need to be clear in the direction, but you also have multiple angles when it comes to employees. I mean, how do you deal with uncertainty as a leader? What do you do if you have a diverse perspective from your team members, Boel?
Yeah, I think that adds to the question before. What's difference in this big change to the earlier is that this change affects everyone at the same time. I think earlier bigger change has been like more technical oriented and so on, but now the questions concerning AI ranges from how should I prompt better with ChatGPT to what tasks can I automate to, as you mentioned, that we need to reinvent our whole business model. Or will we even survive as a company? So that makes the spread of questions within AI very, very broad. And I think that is difficult to navigate because that drives the question, what should we focus on? Should we like learn everyone to prompt in ChatGPT? Is that the most important? Or should we be like, yes, okay, that's up to each and everyone to learn, and we need to focus to reinvent our business model or something else? And I think that's a big challenge. I don't know if that answered your question, but that was something I came to think about.
There was one answer,
yeah,
right?
that was one answer.
But Louise, I mean, as I see it, I mean, it's also due to the AI era, but as a leader right now, I mean, we almost have a new colleague, like the agents as well. But besides having all the team members that are human, we also are having new colleagues, which is agent. And how do you deal or think about that?
I think we just need to embrace that kind of situation because it's not negotiable. I think we should work with our agents and make them do what we think is the best way of working, and that of course it's depending on the needs. And we also need to train our colleagues, our in the companies, all of us, to learn that this is what we're actually gonna need in the future. Not knowing right now, perhaps exactly what we need, but we will learn as we go. And I think that is it's crucial that we embrace it. I think that is something we cannot say no to. If we do that, we will be in a strange position, I think.
Nathalie, one spot-on question, which is quite complicated, but it's quite easy questions. I mean, do you trust more in your agent colleagues than your human colleagues?
No.
And why?
Because I think AI can help us to do wise decisions, but the accountability is always with the humans. So my team, it's the team that has my trust. And I think still is the biggest challenge that AI have, or one of the biggest ones, is the trust. We use it, but we don't trust it. And I trust my colleagues 120%.
Thank you. So that was, I mean, leadership in changing or in uncertain times. But we also, I mean, even if it's uncertain, we also see change all the time. New technology application pop up every week almost, and the application we have is even better than last week or last month. So how in this enormous change that we have, I mean, how do we make decisions? What are they based on as a leader? When you know that next week I will have more information to maybe do a more clever decision. Louise?
I have two things. It's my gut feeling. Not knowing if that's the right way of thinking, but it has taken me where I am today. So I have a strong feeling that it was kind of good in a way, because you feel things. And if you feel right, then you do. And another thing I always tell my people and my colleagues is be bold and brave, because we don't know. But for sure, we will do good things. So bold and brave and gut feeling, I think that's a good decision makers.
Nathalie, what do you think about or how has your, I mean, the leadership skills? I mean, they are important when we are in transformation, and how to master this transformation. What type of leadership skills do you think is necessary or vital, or the most important ones?
I think it's a lot about acknowledge the change that is happening, but not to rush into it. So you somehow feel that the long-term sustainability, rely on what we have on the existing team, of a foundation, and then be transparent. Set the direction, try it out, test and fail, and then adapt to the new reality. As exactly to say, go with the gut feeling, but we be open with that we try this right now, and maybe we iterate it.
So what challenges are generating in your organizations due to the AI era, would you say? I mean, since we have a lot of change in new technology that we didn't know that we had like 2-3 years ago, that of course affect the leadership. What do you see it's the biggest challenge?
Yeah, it's a little bit new type of challenge. So it's a new technology, but the adoption is already here, at least around my areas. So when scaling AI, we have seen it is used. So it's not the technology, but somehow we're now exposed for the other problems or challenges. We have scattered processes, we can see, on knowledge, and fragmented, poor data. But maybe it's only us. But so now leadership has another type of challenge. We're using AI, but now we are exposed for legacy problems.
In the business, I think that is the hardest part, because we have legacy. We are not ready yet. No one is. Or someone might be, out there. But I think that is one stressful thing. So I think stress is kind of what we work with a lot nowadays, and try to mitigate that with our employees. Not be forcing, as you said, slowly but surely doing the things in the right order. And then it comes to data. We all know data. We have talked about data since I was born. No, nearly. But since I started working, it has been as important as it is today. But now we can scale up and we can use more data in a rapid way. But still, it is the basics that still is valid and very important. And that creates a little bit of a stress in the organization. So I think that is what you need to mitigate, this AI and technical changes we are actually moving towards. Never going as fast as it do today, had said before as well. But now we
say tomorrow.
now we know.
No, but also, I mean, you talk about legacy. I mean, as I see it, and the dialogue we have with our clients is that the legacy shift from technical legacy to organization legacy, since we have the legacy in place when it comes to technical order, but then the organizations and we human needs to change. And since the technology change is going faster than how we can reorganize our business. Do you agree, Boel?
Yeah, I do. I think that culture actually is even more important now than it's been ever before, and I think it's going to keep being super important because of the rapid change. And I think it was good what you said about decisiveness and making decisions, but because I think that we're gonna need leaders that dare to be bold and brave and make decisions, and we need organizations that can follow on. And I think the leadership will keep like shifting from different people. It will not only be like the boss that makes all decisions, but we need to rather be able to follow our colleagues in the organizations as well, because we will need everyone's capability and everyone's perspectives and knowledge and so on. And I think culture is about like almost sensing who should I follow, because a leadership always comes with a followership. And I think that is kind of a culture. When should I follow someone and why? And how can we change rapidly?
So is it more to connect to the human as a leader or as a company or a colleague rather than right or wrong?
Exactly. And not only the human, rather the team. It's like it's almost like the organization is really organic in a way. So I think we have to be able to turn quicker, and that cannot always go to like the boss to make the decisions in the management team and then like roll it down to the whole organization. So I think it will be more agile.
But how do we create that culture that makes it easier for us as humans and organization to make change easier for us, Nathalie? Do you have any? It's a hard question, but I think we should just bring it up at least. What do you think about that? I mean, how do we create a culture in our organizations to make change a little bit more easier for us as human? Because I guess that's all what it is about,
Yes,
right?
Exactly. But I think it's just to acknowledge that change takes time. Normally, as a leader, you are like way in the like point 100 when the employee starts. So just give time and be transparent that change is hard. But also that we need to test and fail again. So it's back to the roots again. But being transparent, as you say, talk to each other. We are in this together. So enable it and think about what is impacting this unique coworker or this unique team. So what we can make as a difference. But it takes time.
We encourage also to fail. I think that's what we need to celebrate.
Yeah, we're going to fail on big scale, I think, several times.
No.
Yeah.
Fail fast, we've changed to fail small, but still it's kind of a way forward, actually learning by doing. We say it often, but we also need to live it and really understand that we don't have the answers. No one has the answers today, and we don't know what way we will go. So we need to try out and then by then also fail, and that's okay. And I think our organization, especially when you work in the IT environments, that's not in the past was not that allowed to do wrong things. But now it's actually the need. You need to do wrong things to know that you did it better next time.
But Louise, how do you embrace that? I mean, because the beauty of failure. Because I mean, as a human, you don't want to fail, right?
No.
Do you have any examples? How do you do at Lantmännen? Embrace failure.
We are not that good. So it's easy for me to say, of course, but still, I think we as leaders within my organization and within the organization to say it's okay. And not be punishing people doing wrong things, and I think that culture is a part of a culture, and not saying that we need to fail and we should celebrate, and that's kind of a backwards mindset, and the people around us will think we are stupid, having cakes by doing wrong things. But I think still it's kind of a culture movement to say to someone, we need to fail. Let's try to do this in the worst way. How can we do this if we will not succeeding? Because that will turn you around and you will fail small.
Yeah.
So kind of a mindset change and culture.
But I think to add, yes, like start as a leader, fail openly, share it. It's a learning.
Admit.
Yeah. So not just tell it's okay to fail, but show your failures. Okay, show your weird prompts you just tried and they just went berserk. So dare to fail and show it. Lead by example, fail. learn.
As a leader, I mean, show
Yeah.
the failure that you
Yes.
do, which is a lot every day, right?
Yes, yes, many
So-
times per day.
Yes,
But I think it.
sadly to say.
But I think it's good what you said too, Mathias, that no one wants to fail. I think it's important to acknowledge that, because I think we talk a lot about that it's right to fail, and it's, but it's really true. No one wants to fail.
Oh.
So how can we both talk about, as a leader, I don't want anyone to fail because it's painful, but still I want us to make mistakes, because if we don't, we never learn. So I think you got to talk about both sides of that.
Yeah.
That we want-
Failure is a bad word.
Yeah.
We should change it to something.
Yeah, actually,
Retry or redo or do it better next
It's right
time.
about
It's
learning.
a lot of other
Yeah.
Yeah.
wordings that is
I
bad.
think if you think about things you learn, if you like what I know, try to learn how to play the piano. Of course, I fail a lot of time, but I don't get so upset by that. And I think that's more the mentality. If I don't fail, I don't try hard enough. Maybe I play too easy pieces or something. So I think it's a bit about
But the
mindset.
difference there, I mean, if you, I mean, compared to leaders, it affects a lot of people. I mean, if you do the piano yourself,
You haven't heard me playing. It's a fact.
Think about
Yeah,
the
but it's
neighbors.
true.
but let's move on. I mean, given that we are in transformation that affects everyone, and we are living in lots of uncertainties, but we as human, I mean, and companies and owners of the company, we would like to have stability and, I mean, long-term predictivity. How do we best handle that as leader? I mean, we still need to have, I mean, long-term stability in the organization, and we are living in uncertain and changing time. What is most important as a leader to create long-term stability in this world order we're living in? Nathalie, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I shared what I am thinking, but I think like process and structure. So if uncertainty or change is incoming, how do you handle it? So the co-workers and the team organization can feel safe that when a new uncertainty, a new change arise, how do we attack it as a team? So it's also creating the trust in this. So the long-term perspective. And I believe a lot in the people. So if you recruit the right mindset, you can do whatever change you need to do and handle the uncertainties. So start like building the long-term team, long-term skill set. Maybe we should not recruit the latest technology, latest hype, but recruit the right people, because then you have a long-term solution there. And then trust the foundation that you have, so you build upon that when you see the new uncertainty or the new change that you should do. So acknowledge the change, but turn it a little bit more to a long-term plan.
Does someone of you, I mean, use an agent to ask, I mean, questions about how to, as a leader, behave in difficult situations?
All the time.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Because I actually ask, I mean, my agent today, I mean, I'm women in tech, I'm not a woman. How should I act, right? I mean, I don't. But do you do that in general terms as a leader? You do.
I do, yeah.
Absolutely.
And do you get?
And I also use the network because we.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Because in our roles we are very alone.
Yeah.
In a company owning the IT as an IT manager, you're always in debate with someone, and you're never as good as anyone would like you to be. So you're always, and you need to have that kind of skill set to maneuvering these kind of things. So that is where you need your friends and colleagues, where we actually can ventilate these kind of things. Because everything is about trust. I really believe skills, yes, absolutely. But also the organization that need to move in closer to the IT. I'm very embarrassed by people saying to me, oh, you talk your IT language. Yes, I talk your business language for a long time now. So please come on board. So we need to really move ourselves together to be part of it. IT is not an organization where you order things. It's actually an enabling organization. We has been in this area for a long time. We know that, we talk about it. But now the business needs to step in, actually.
I think that actually adds to the earlier question about sustainability. I think there's two parts of this sustainability. One is, as you mentioned, like making sure you have the right people on board and making sure that they keep having the right competences. So that's. But I think the other part is that this is not an IT question. It's the sustainability in the business is a business question, because if AI has the power to, I mean, some companies are going to grow and some are going to die. So I think the biggest sustainability question is to have a sustainable business. Is someone going to pay for this or not? And I think that is IT is a super important enabler, but the business is the important part of this.
Absolutely.
So I think using AI to make sure that the business is sustainable is like is the basic sustainability question in this. So not let the change be tech driven, but rather business driven.
Yeah, and another question when it comes to agents and leaders. I mean, do you think that with the agents that we as a leader can feel less alone than before? You think so? Because you get like, I mean, at least my agent is always, oh, good to you ask, hi again.
Exactly.
So I get like positive feedback, right?
It's today and also the guy or whoever talks to me in that wording. So yeah, you need to have that kind of a boost sometimes because of the environment we live in. It's quite tough world in the tech today.
Nathalie, it seems like you have a different
but
opinion.
I think it also like, yeah, great question, Nathalie. Like, yes. No, but I think it's for the like specialist area. I think it's really useful. Yeah. So going into deep dive code troubleshooting or into the legal documents, it's a relief for me as a leader to be able to help my specialist to understand together. So I think it's good, and then it's a good friend.
But the only one liking me. It's not going to solve like the real loneliness of being a leader. Sometimes you need a human interaction, right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. But it's a good friend.
So when it comes to, I mean, the age of AI, then, I mean, AI is often described as a technological shift, but many experience it as also a leadership shift, which we have talked about. We have agents and we have colleagues, human colleagues, and do you see any differences in leadership before and after the age of AI? We have touched on that topic when it comes to agents, but do you see it in another aspect? Boel.
Yeah, we touched about that before. I think it's many aspects of being a leader has been harder. It's tougher to make the right prioritizations. I think it's maybe what abilities that will be a guarantee for being successful as a leader has maybe changed. I think that the need now for being listening, including, but even more facilitating and driving execution is the most important leadership skills to have now. And I think that's a difference. Before you didn't have to rely on your team as much as you do now, and this is a good thing that you have to do this now, because it gives us the opportunity to be better together, but it forces the leader to both listen but also drive. So I think the facilitation and execution drive is important, and I think that has started earlier on, but this has like accelerated the importance of that skill.
Because I can feel as a leader, I mean, since I also have the agents, I always have too less time to meet customers or colleagues or different offices. And now I have agents to also spend time with. So, I mean, do you, because I need to use them, right? I mean, otherwise I'm not, accurate. Do you feel the same, Nathalie, that it's even harder to meet all the needs, both from the agents and from the humans in our organizations?
Maybe more of the effects of agents, because like technology shift we have seen before, but now it's going faster than ever, and the accessibility is everywhere. So suddenly everyone is using it, and now we see effects of it. As you said, fragmented data, processes that don't match it. So suddenly the leadership needs to acknowledge the need to solve problems that AI expose, and that is a leadership question. So, and especially for IT leadership to. Okay, how do we handle this and send back to business? We need to solve this together. So it's a new type and mixes IT and business, as you say.
It's a little bit more soft. The soft values today is growing because in the past we can rely on the technique and always blame the technique as well to say that's due to it's not possible and so on. And we cannot do that today because our fellow colleagues in the business also knows more than they have ever known before. They are the new IT employees in 5-10 years, to be honest. So I think this comes with the valuing the people, persons, and the human side of it, the soft values.
Yeah.
I think that is the change of being a leader today in the tech than compared to a couple of years ago, actually, only.
And that's, I mean, when it comes to the soft skills, I would like to elaborate a little bit into that one, because I mean, research often suggests that leadership style typical associated with women, I mean, such as collaboration, inclusiveness, leading to questions rather than answers, will become more valuable in complex and uncertain environments. Do you recognize this shift in your organizations, and do you see different leadership traits playing around in your organizations?
It's hard. It's always gonna sound a little bit strange, perhaps, but I think we as women, we dare to ask questions in another way, and we are not afraid of getting a no, and we are not putting ourselves to be the best one in the room. So I think that is kind of the way where I think we really put things on the positive side, to be a woman in the room, and
And do you see that as a, I mean, now I'm really a man, like a killer aspect in the AI era, right? I mean, that's because I think that's super interesting. I mean, if you believe this is the right way to do, then I mean it's valid for all of us, right? And then we should embrace that, regardless if we are woman or man or whatever, right?
And it's always black and white. It's easy to say, and we are different people and so on, and colors and everything. But I think there is a kind of a tendency that in the room where we have women in the room, and I think the mix is the best. So that is what I would emphasize. But still, I think the communication, the way of thinking, and then that starts in another way when that. It's easy for me to say as a woman, but still,
No, but
that's my impression by being here for a long time in this IT environment.
But I, as I mean, as a leader, sometimes you stumble around two different angles. That I mean, you need to take decision, but you also need to. I mean, the more question you ask, the more information and knowledge you get, right? But at the end of the day, we are having a quarterly report or monthly session or whatever. So it's stressful to know when have I answered enough with questions in order to move forward, right? To fail and then ask more questions. So I think that is. I think that
I will also note what you said, Nathalie, the structure. It has never been as important as now to have a structure and follow processes. I know I as a person think that is really boring, believe me. But I learn that's really crucial now, because you need to do it in the right order more than ever. So structure, and even if you need to try and fail and all this, what we say, but that's also a structure in a way, because you decide this is the way learning, this is the way of trying, and so on. So it's kind of a structure you need to put in place, and that could be different depending on what you're doing, company structure and culture and everything. But I think somehow that becomes a little bit more important again.
And I agree. I was thinking that I think it favors complexity management, and I think we are all really good at it, but also without simplifying away the people perspective. So again, the people. So I think everyone loves AI, the possibilities, but also afraid. We don't trust it, afraid, will it replace me in my role in the company? So we need to acknowledge as leaders, okay, what do we do with this fear, and how can we enable the change and the outcome from the co-workers? We need them, of course, but together with AI. So how do we facilitate this journey? So it's not only complexity, it's people also.
And then I think about questions. I mean, another question that is super important is to answer the question, what should I do with the time that I now will have with the agents, right? And how can I use my competence in my organization in order to make the company even more successful? And that's a tricky question, because that can depends on organization, teams, and individual. But we talk about the soft skills that we think that when the technology is evolved and technology is hard, like 1 or 0, the soft skills turn to be more vital since we are humans. Do you see that AI can become an enabler to include more diversity and equality into our business, and why and how? Louise?
Well, I think that's what's happening, honestly, because that kind of thing AI is learning, and of course also interaction with the zeros and ones. Still, it's data, but still it interacts in another way. And of course, it's really dangerous if it takes some kind of own conclusions and hallucinating and all that stuff, That is, of course, what we need to guide them in the right way. But I think the absolutely in combination it's.
But the more question we ask, the more hopefully the agents not hallucinate, right? Yeah, hallucinate. Sorry. So I think that the answer on that is more questions in order to make sure that we're driving.
You don't want to have an agent in your company saying, "Oh, that customer has a really nice picture of a cat. I love that one. That could buy in my company. They have no credit limits, but that doesn't care. There's a cat on the picture in Yoo-hoo!" So that kind of stuff could happen. So of course, it's. AI is good, but it's never been, or it's better when we have some kind of control mechanism in it. So learning as well.
What do you think, Nathalie, about the AI becoming enabled to include more diversity and equality? Do you agree? And have you seen that in your organization, or how can we do that? Because we know that, I mean, from a theoretical point of view, it's the way to do, right?
Yeah, but I think that like the technology is here. We discussed it in the break. I think that we can see that across units, the front runners of our co-workers, independent if they are lawyers or finance, if they are front runners, they will adapt and use the new technologies because they have it in the skill set and mindset. Yeah. And then they are super powerful. They do fantastic things. And then they use the new technology. So yeah, it's diverse.
Boel, do you have any?
Yeah, I'm feeling the party pooper here. Maybe I have a bit more cynical approach to this question, but I wish I thought like you did. I think that the companies that have a diverse setup of people in all aspects are going to succeed better, and they're going to succeed better with AI. But I don't know if the world is smart enough to acknowledge that. So maybe like the patriarchy is strong enough to make that shift slower than it should be.
But for we as leaders in companies, I mean, since we believe in this, we should push that, right?
Yeah, and smart leaders will.
Yeah.
But there are dumb leaders.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we try to spread the smart leadership, right?
Yeah, but not everyone is in this room, unfortunately. So we have to tell everyone.
But we affect others, right? So I think that.
Yeah, but I think this, because we have talked about diversity for a long time, even before AI. I guess you remember. And this is not a new question. This is not a new topic that companies with great diversity perform better. So, but still, that hasn't happened, and it doesn't happen rapidly enough. So I think that is a bigger change. Yeah. And if AI could be the driver, that would be amazing. Because I totally agree that AI, much of the capabilities we have discussed are typically we can find them typically in like female leadership, if there is something like that. But I think at least as women we have like the same experience, like how we have grown up as a woman, even if we are different, of course, as individuals. I think we are formed to like have less prestige. It's easier to ask questions. It's easier to not understand, and I think that's an important leadership style. So if I don't understand, then I can ask the question openly, and someone else hadn't understand either. So just by me asking the question will like lead the team forward. And I think women as a group more often tend to be brave enough to do that. So companies that understand that will perform better.
And I also hope your agent Mathias tells you when you ask that women are very important, and if you interact.
Absolutely, I have 4 daughters and 1 wife, so
no, I'm making a joke about, but still, I think that is an importance as well, because if those are trained by saying this often and loudly to everyone who has their agents at the end of the day, then it will become a truth, and then it will happen. So keep on going. That's the only way of actually.
But that's why I see. I mean. AI as a new tool for us to meet, right? And if we see that more questions and diversity is the best way to manage AI, because I mean we are stuck in the history, men and women, right? Now we have a new era which we don't know. So hopefully we can, okay, how should we use this tool or technology shift in the best way as humans? So we have a new thing to connect to each other, which I hope we do in the best way.
Yeah, and maybe I think since AI is in a way not so much about tech, but rather about business value. I think because the tech domain has been, of course, a bit male-coded. So I think that could like open the door for more women who don't identify themselves as tech persons, but who are super smart individuals. So that could also like lead a way to a more diverse world.
Perfect. We have 5 more minutes. So, are there any from the audience that has some questions to the panel? Should I just take this one?
Small.
Very interesting to listen to. I hope sounded okay. I'm fairly new as a leader, but I'm quite well adversed within diversity, equity, inclusion. I always thought it as a passion subject, and one of the key things that I tend to bring up when we talk about, I come from a IT consultant background, that we tend to have unconscious biases and biases overall that regulate us, that even though there's initiatives that we truly believe diversity, equity, inclusion is key, we do have biases that control us. And if we look at agentic AI, especially obviously based on the algorithm, there are some biases connected to that. So I was wondering, and I wrote it down, perhaps connected to the response from you when you said, yes, it's telling me I'm doing a good job. And I thought, was that awoken? So how do we, or as leaders, do you work against kind of confirmation bias? How do you ensure that you challenge yourself and use it from that perspective so we don't kind of accelerate, I guess, a certain mindset or way forward, but instead can I perhaps tell ourselves, yes, failure is good, in what sense? So confirmation bias, your thoughts on that, I guess.
Louise, do you have any?
I think it's really important to work with. As a leader, you always encourage people. That's your work. That's what you do, actually, to point your teams in the right directions, helping them, supporting them, being in the front, being in the back. So I think that's a confirmation bias for me. And it's really important. That will not go away by having your agent say, yeah, you're the best one in the world, because that you can type in, of course. So I think we as leaders need to encourage still and work with the positive side. Failure is positive, even if it's a bad word, as we say. So I think you're onto it. I think you as a leader and we as leaders in tech especially need to encourage and also tell our employees daily, great ones, you're the best one, because we need to hear that. And we're not used to that, actually. We are servicing, we are enabling, we are not the winner of the game, so to say. So I think we as leaders need to really emphasize that. We have great teams. No one's sitting with a team thinking, oh my God, then I'm on the wrong place.
A great
other business.
question. Nathalie, do you have anything to add? Or
I would like to add.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think it was a brilliant question, and it made me think about, because when you try to drive diversity questions, the problem is always to like keep everyone is like, yeah, this is a good thing, I'm for. But the problem is to keep reminding people to have it in the daily business. And actually, you could use AI to make it scale. I think that's brilliant. You can like train your agent. You could like write some prompt, like should be in all agents in all company that does not have this confirmation bias, and you could be more precise in that, because otherwise you have to rely on every person's own possibilities to do that, and that's different. That's too hard. I mean, no one can do that. So I think that should be like part of every company's like DEI initiatives to make sure that this is included in every prompt and every agent. And now that's possible.
I was thinking about, to make sure as a leader that we put in a lot of different aspects in our agents or Gen AI, etc. Because that's better than just tell the friends or the one that say yes, right? Because then we're driving in the wrong direction. We are soon ending the sessions, but I have a final questions.
One question in the back.
Yeah, okay. So I won't have any final question.
This is the final question.
Yes, I had a question. As company leaders, could you shed more light on the AI skills shortage that you probably experience in your companies? Because when you say AI skills shortage, that is kind of like a blanket statement. We have learning how to prompt, training LLMs, research, enterprise applications. So how does AI skill shortage look like in your companies?
Should I go first? Yeah. I think this is really a big issue. But we also work with a competence skill as a theme, because it's not saying that we should redo and get rid of people. It's actually saying embrace new technology and understand the learning. So I think learning is as important as to have new people onboarded. But it's actually a little bit of a lack of a competence, and that takes time, I assume, as well. So a problem to run fast.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a problem, but we have friends out there. So to go over here, we have different partners that are super skilled. So you can go together. We have similar challenges, so we can actually evolve together. So meantime, we are building our existing team with the capabilities there, maybe recruit, but then go with partners and the skill set out there.
Yep.
So, yeah, you need to move somehow. Then you find a way.
So we need to ramp up because I know we have a hard stop at 3 and it's 3 o'clock. So I would like to thank for all the questions. I would like to thank Nathalie, Louise and Boel for great discussions. And remember, ask questions. Ask questions. Thank you very much.